Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked James Tahuna to defeat Alexander Gustafsson. And I'm here to talk about Pannie Kianzad versus Macy Chiasson 2. This is a rematch. These girls fought in the championship fight of the Ultimate Fighter season 20 fuck. This was like 5 years ago. And Macy won by rear naked choke in round two, but it was an awesome fight. Each girl had her moments, and Macy, in the end, got on top of her and was too much. And my prediction here for this fight is Macy Chiasson wins, but with a gun to my head, I'd go with her winning by decision. I just think that's the way things are trending. She still uses her size and her unique physicality, her giraffe physicality, but I think she would use it to slow things down and beat Pannie. But if you know it, the fight is action packed. She's still got danger on her side everywhere, whereas Pannie doesn't really. Pannie's the better technician, much better technical fighter, as is everybody else compared to Macy Chiasson. She is so rugged, but Macy is still dangerous everywhere and very capable of using her size to slow the fight down, if not create big moments. Macy was clinching up on Pannie and took a few minutes out of the fight, leaning on her in their first fight. And we've seen her do it at a high level against Norma Dumont, even in round three, where I thought Norma still won round three, but Macy was still able to wear on her. And I just think Pannie Kianzad's a girl that is very susceptible to being controlled. She's got a great gas tank, great third round fighter, but a weak defensive wrestler. And Macy Chiasson may not be as smooth as somebody like Ketlin Vieira, but she's still got that size like Ketlin, physicality. And I envision her getting the better of Pannie one way or the other. Macy is a girl that I consider to be incredibly dangerous, like one of the most dangerous fighters when she entered the UFC. On The Ultimate Fighter was nothing but finishes. She TKO'd Larissa Pacheco, who is one of the best fighters in the world, and then she TKO'd Leah Letson. All right, whatever. But and then after that, it was Pannie Kianzad with the finish to win the championship. And then her next two fights into the UFC were both finishes as well. Sarah Moras and Gina Mazzani. And she just looked beastly. But I think some of these losses probably slowed her down. First came the Lena Landsberg loss, where I think she faded, and Lena was grounding her and controlling her down the stretch. And then after that, she's been finished twice. Raquel Pennington guillotine deep into round two, and Irene Aldana with an up kick, axe kick to the body deep into round three. A fight that Macy was a minute or two away from winning. Although, again, the axe kick would have changed the course of the fight and blah, 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 whatever. But Macy, despite suffering these losses and getting finished in them, she's been beaten only by very good fighters since the Lena Landsberg loss. And of course, she's the girl that beat Norma Dumont, which is the best victory for either fighter. That, combined with a win over Pannie Kianzad years ago, has me siding with her. Pannie, since making it to the UFC, she lost to Macy, of course, coming out of the gate, and then since then she's had three losses. She lost to Julia Avila, got controlled. She lost to Raquel Pennington, again, who I should have mentioned when I talked about it with Macy, but Raquel is now the best fighter in the world. She is the champion. And in her last fight, she lost to Ketlin Vieira, who has been one of the best fighters in the world for some time. Pannie's looked healthy. Her last finish loss was Macy Chiasson, where she was choked. And her other two finishes come in her first two losses. She lost by TKO to Tanya Evinger, who dominated her on the ground and then got her out of there in round two on the ground. And she also lost by rear naked choke to this underrated journey woman who caught a kick, took her down, choked her out round one. So despite having weaknesses on paper or whatever, I trust her durability more because since then she's been controlled and grounded by better fighters. We've seen her dealing with Ketlin Vieira and Raquel Pennington and Sajara Eubanks, and whoever the fuck else, and she hasn't gone anywhere. So I trust her to survive and win this. I pick her to survive and win by decision, but it's not something I can totally trust. Also, I'd say she's got the weaker chin between the two, despite neither one of them getting knocked out with a punch to the chin. She's been dropped by Macy deep into round one in their first fight. She was also dropped by Julia Avila with an elbow. I don't know how badly hurt she was, but she was dropped. And Julia and oh no, that was Lena Landsberg with the elbow, Julia Avila with a punch. But she's been dropped more. And even if that doesn't produce a finish, I think it's more likely to produce a major point on the judges' scorecards. And I think those moments would go to Macy Chiasson. So Macy winning is the pick. I bet on her when the odds were a little better at minus 170, but she's still minus 210. I don't know if that floats your boat. But for me, again, I don't know if I can trust any prop, decision, or finish. Because even though the pick is decision, I imagine the line won't be too great. And Macy's a very dangerous girl. We just forgotten about that for some time now. So let's go, Macy Chiasson. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out my other videos.